Hello, namaste. So I just want to do a quick video today on just meditation and some quick tips that may help in your meditation. So, like I've said in other videos, I don't necessarily like to use the word meditation because some people think that it means, something with religion or, that they're not ready for it or that it's something difficult to do. I know some people have said that they've tried meditation like one time and they couldn't do it, so they're never going to try it again. But essentially all it is it's a time that you set aside for yourself to just clear the mind. And that's really kind of the first hurdle that we have to cross is just simply, starting to establish that routine of bringing that, that time into our life, that space into our life that, that we can clear the mind, because it's only when the mind is clear that we can start to see again. When our mind is racing and we're, reacting to everything that happens around us, from our emotions, we make poor choices. We get into situations that we don't necessarily want to be in. We, take commitments that are more than we can handle. So anytime you come from a place of confusion or, lack of clarity, decisions can very easily, the decisions you make are not always the best decision that you could make. So the meditation will help, setting aside just a few minutes a day will help to bring that clarity back into your life. And, this goes with anything that you do in life, anything at all, whether it's, if you're searching for, your career path, or maybe you want to, pursue a new hobby, or, maybe you have questions on relationships, or, maybe you're deciding, where you want to move to next, or just, anything, on a grander scale, but even on a small, even on, from things like, what am I going to eat? If you take just even a few breaths prior, what you'll do is you're actually developing your energy body also, the subtle energies in your body to even, increase your intuition in certain situations and, be able to determine if, what you're eating is, from emotional eating, or if you're lacking something in your life. So meditation will help essentially with all of these things, anywhere from, do I want to eat this piece of cake? Am I, coming from a place of clarity prior to eating this? Or, as you meditate, you will get more and more clear that you will arrive at a point when you can say to yourself, well, I know that I want this, piece of cake because this is how I fulfill myself emotionally. And these are obviously it's a more complex topic than what I'm going to cover in this video, but meditation essentially will help in all aspects of your life. So just that being said, just three things specifically that I just want to bring up on how you can maybe meditate a little bit better and how you can incorporate this into your life. And I do want to say also, people that, a lot of people think that they just can't meditate, and they've tried it once and they didn't exactly know what it was. Maybe they tried it on their own, or they tried it through a video, or, even some people sometimes go to, meditation class or yoga class, and they just weren't exactly sure what they're supposed to be doing. So the first tip that I want to give is when you when you very first start to do it, just, find a comfortable place that you can sit in and just simply close your eyes and take, I like to say, 5 deep breaths. And just by doing this, you'll notice a difference just in clarity of mind, because what you're doing is you're essentially just, any stress that you've built up. We have to think of like stress as debris almost, right? Because not only do we collect like physical dirt from our environment, but we also collect emotional dirt from our environment and mental dirt from our environment. And, on a physical level, you take a shower to get rid of that dirt, right? But on an emotional level, there are sometimes other techniques that need to be utilized on, emotions. Sometimes we can do the yoga, the asana, and we incorporate breath to, start to eliminate some of that emotional and mental dirt that we've collected. So, we have to remember we're picking up everything and anything in our environment, anything that we see, anything we hear, anything we smell, taste, or touch, we pick it up, it goes onto our person, and if we collect too much of it, it starts to weigh us down. So we have to periodically, eliminate and reduce the clutter, any kind of clutter, mental, emotional, or physical, in our life. So meditation is focused on the mental clutter, and we do that through the breath. And we do this by observing the thoughts. So the first thing is going to be to find a quiet place. Any place. It could be in your house, it could be, in your office, it could be just any place that you will not be disturbed. And, I would say if you're starting out, try even just for 2 to 3 minutes, and work your way up from there, because, I think it's best when you're starting out just to take small pieces. You don't have to, it's about clarity. It's about clearing the mind, and you don't need to start with, 10 hours a day. It's actually better if you do small chunks every day, just for a couple minutes, instead of like once a year and you do like 2 hours in that year. Just like learning a foreign language, it's something that we need to build on. So, just start small. So that would be my first, suggestion, is finding the quiet place, and then, just starting with just a few minutes. My second suggestion would be, once you've established that place, once you feel secure there, you're comfortable, it could be a chair, a bed, any place. Take 5 deep breaths. And this is always my suggestion in general, because what this is going to do is it's going to bring you back to the moment. Okay, most of the time, nobody's ever thinking in the present. Unless you're completely focused in on a task that you're doing, people usually, and even then, people are not completely engrossed in that task or what they're doing. Most people are either thinking in the past or they're thinking in the future. And the problem with thinking in the past is it's going to give you depression, because you're going to start thinking of, sad things that happened, losses that you've had, regrets that you've had, because naturally, us as humans, we naturally have a tendency to think towards the negative. We have to actually work to think to see the sunny side up, so to speak. So thinking in the past is going to create the depression. And if we're thinking in the future, we're going to have anxiety, because, anytime we're thinking, what's going to happen 5 years from now, what's going to happen 10 years from now, we have a lot of fear. We have a lot of uncertainty because we don't know what's going to happen. So we get ourselves mentally worked up and start having that buzz in our brain, which just adds to more confusion and clutter. So taking those 5 breaths, nice deep breaths, is going to bring you back to the moment. It's going to ground you. It's going to settle the mind. It's going to, relax the body emotionally. You're going to feel, more secure in your body. And it's going to prime you for your practice. The next thing that I would suggest is when you start to just focus on your natural breathing. And I don't even want to say focus, just breathe naturally at first. Don't try to do any fancy pranayama, even mantras, you can take those as you start to, develop the skill, as you feel more comfortable. But at the beginning, I just make the suggestion is just breathing normally, because what we want to do is we want to make observations. And what we're going to be observing are the thoughts. Okay, so, and maybe I'll do another video on actually observing the thoughts, but just to wrap it up, we want to find that quiet place where we will be undisturbed. We want to have it be a comfortable place. Taking the 5 breaths will help ground us, center us, bring us to that moment, even if it's just for 2 or 3 minutes. And then we want to breathe normally. Just take your normal breathing. So we're not going to be worrying about, any other techniques or anything. And then what you'll do is you'll start observing those thoughts that are coming across the mind field. So, these thoughts, you'll notice as you start observing them, they will be anything and everything. They will be from the past. They will be from the future. They'll be, about small things like, did I leave my stove on? Did I close the toilet seat? Did I make the bed this morning? To big things like, what's going to happen? Will I have to take a vaccine? Will I ever be able to travel again? It'll be everything and anything. And what you want to do is, as these thoughts are coming up, you just simply want to observe them and say, okay, well, that was that thought, and let them go. Just like a train passing through the night, you see the different colored cars and the train comes and goes. So that's how we want to observe the mind. And you'll notice that you'll have thoughts in there that are not even your own. You'll have thoughts maybe from something that somebody said on the TV and it was their thought, but now you're thinking it. And it will happen. And this is why the meditation helps us, because we start to understand what is our own and what is not. Okay. And this is part of the, one of the first steps to deprogramming, essentially. But, we'll get in that in another video. But just simply observe the thoughts. And after you've observed the thought, like, okay, I left the stove on. Did I leave it on? I don't know if I left it on. Is it on? Just observe it. Just let it go. And bring yourself back to your breath. Okay, so this is the simplest way. Just bring yourself back. You're breathing normally. You know that you're breathing normally, and just become conscious again of your breathing. And that thought will just dissolve, okay? Pay attention to it, acknowledge it. Yes, that thought exists. And now I'm gonna pay attention to my breath again. So in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, okay, be mindful of the breath, be mindful of the breath, be mindful of the breath. And that is all you really need to do to start meditating. So I'm just going to leave it at that for today. I'll go ahead and put these steps in the description box below. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, and let me know how it is going for you. Namaste.